Hey, I'm Dennis from This Side of Anarchy, and welcome to Band, my show where I let you in on my getting to know other independent bands that I support on social media and that support me in return. And we get to know each other a little better by answering 5 questions each. Please hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube or listening on podcast so you can keep up to date and enjoy this episode. Welcome to the new episode of Band. I'm here with Chris of My Latest Failure. And see, I believe I looked, you are the guitar player and vocalist.
Yeah, that's correct.
And you play guitar. And what made you pick up the guitar? And we'll do that first. What was your first inspiration of hey, I want to pick up the guitar?
Hey, it was late on. I was about 16 when I first originally picked up the guitar. So before that, weren't interested in it whatsoever. But sort of like punk rock started becoming big on the scene. Do you know what I mean? You had your Green Day, your Blink-182, Offspring. They're all becoming a bit mainstream. And then, I was just like, I want a piece of that. So, just sort of got a guitar for Christmas. It was just some like cheapy, I don't know. It was like terrible sounding, but I think it's up in the loft somewhere.
Yeah.
But just from there, I just just self-taught myself just the power chords, and then the way I went. Rest was history, really.
Yeah. So I'm guessing with My Latest Failure, the name of the band, that you've had more other bands. It's a good name. I really like it. It's like
so that's one thing people have said to me. Yeah, they like the name of it and whatnot. But now pretty much it just all come about for that same reason. Do you know what I mean? Been on those bands that like never go nowhere. You know, as soon as you get in the stride, someone pulls out and completely messes it up. So
been there.
Yeah, that's it exactly. I think everyone that's been in the band's been there at some point. So I was just like, oh, sod it. This is my latest failure, and it just kind of stuck from there. Really more than anything else. But everyone seems to love the name. That's like the one thing everyone always like picks up on. So at least that's a bonus. I chose a good name.
Yeah, definitely. All right, tell me about the rest of the band.
So, we're a 3-piece. So me and the bassist, who's named Andy, we originally like formed the band back in August 2017. So what it was is we tried like reuniting an old band that we were in called Under Dead Stars. We didn't quite work out, so we were just like, oh, sod it, we'll just start a new thing. And then presto, that's where My Latest Failure came from. And then for ages we were sort of looking for a drummer, and then the drummer finally came like a year later. So our drummer's name's Jamie, and he joined the band in September 2018. So you can imagine it was like a full year of just like looking for a drummer, and just no one wanted to join really. Hence why we're a 3-piece. We thought we'll just stop there. We got the basics. We'll go for it,
right?
Kind of thing. And then we just never looked back really.
Yeah, I mean, kind of same thing happened with a few of my other bands. We couldn't find a singer. We had our original singer, then we had a second singer, then we just couldn't find the singer. So then we just ended up saying we were a 5-piece, and then we just said, shit, we'll just do it ourselves. So we just found whoever could like sing whatever song. We just kind of, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, that's it, 100%. I'd never played guitar and did vocals before until this band.
Yeah.
It was either just vocals or just guitar, and it was just that thing. It's like when it was just me and Andy, our bassist, it was like, all right, we want to do something. What can we do? You can't, and we're just like, oh, sod it, we'll just go for it. Right. And then that's it's just been like that's just how we went. We just learned with it, really. Yeah. So we just started off with like the basic chords with some vocals over it, and then as we progress, it just starts getting a bit more. We just start putting more layers, but yeah, like at the moment, I couldn't see bringing anyone else into the band now. It's just like we're a 3-piece. This is how we're sort of staying now.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, now you can ask your first question.
So, what inspired you to do This Side of Anarchy?
Well, Like this is kind of the hard part because other bands want to know about me, but then it's like I'll be saying the same thing every week.
Oh yeah,
You know
yeah,
what
I
I
can
mean?
imagine.
Like, oh, how do you start? Well, I said that like the last three episodes.
Okay.
That's the only drawback of this kind of format that I see. But basically, I was in a band called Society Gone Mad for like 10 or 11 years ish, and then same thing happened. We broke up, and just the scene died, and just got sick of one too many trips to parties or clubs, and then it gets shut down, and then you're like, we went all this way, and then you just after 11 years, for me it was kind of 20 because I was in other bands before around the country, and it's just, man, just work and practice and play and go to shows for like 20 years. It's just like, man, just like around 99, my second son was born too, and I just got burnt out. So I kind of stopped for a while and started wanting to play the piano and mess around and stuff. And then I don't know, just slowly as I started writing again after I took a 2 or 3 year break, it's just the punk just started coming back. It's just, I wrote some classical songs and some
Yeah.
other rock songs and just this stuff, experimenting with all kinds of genres and I don't know, just the punk society getting so fucked up again. It's just, it's,
That's
it's
it.
like, man,
Just draws the flame up a bit,
it's,
doesn't
it's, it's like people just like freaking wake up already. Like, can't you freaking wake up? What the hell's going on? So it just society just getting worse, and I just had just this disappointment and express my disappointment and hopefully help people get through the idiocy. That's what's that's what drove me basically, and
Yeah.
still drives me. Just I don't know. There's just some days it's just you just hear something on the radio, on the news, or something, and just you're like, man, that's, and then you get a lyric, and you're like, all right, there's an idea, and then I gotta write it down on my OneNote and like come back and have a riff and say, all right, that works, and you just kind of piece it all together.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I know that feeling. I know
it's
that feeling.
just it's just right now I'm just doing it myself and just a legend in my own bedroom.
I think that's well cool, man. Well cool that you do it all yourself as well. To be honest, to be fair, like if I tried even doing drums, I wouldn't even know where to start. Be like, that's about
Yeah,
it,
I mean,
really.
I have, like I said before, I can't play one lick of drums. It's just I'm totally uncoordinated, but I've gotten compliments from many people that my programming of my drums is awesome. So yeah, I think I do a pretty good job. I mean, it took me a few years. I got down the nice kit I want and how I
Yeah.
program the MIDI, and then
No, I
I
wouldn't
mean,
even notice you programmed it, to be honest. I just
yeah,
already presumed you got it. I mean, you got the full set. Can imagine it's just all around the room. Yeah, do a bit of this onto this bit.
yeah. It's just I can hear it in my head, but I couldn't sit at a set and play it. That's all. That's all I know. I can hear it in my head, and I know boom, boom, boom. It's.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not,
I'm exactly the same. One session we decided to swap instruments for
uh,
like 10 minutes and that, and it was great fun because like where I'm sitting at the drums, haven't got a clue what I'm doing. The drummer's doing the same with the guitar, and it's just like it was just hilarious. Just those sort of things you do in the studio, and it's just like, oh, we've got like 10 minutes to kill. Oh, let's swap instruments. This brilliant idea. Like, but yeah, no.
so I know it's hard with this thing going on, but if you guys played any shows, or did you play any show before everything got shut down, or?
Yeah, our last show was in February, so we had a really brilliant summer, like lining up. Do you know what I mean? We're starting to get like two a month, and stuff like that. A couple of all dayers going on, but since the lockdown, we've had nothing. Last year was a really good year for us, mainly for like the gigs and stuff like that. So it was kind of like a tough one, really. It took us ages to get gigs, but once they came along like thick and fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we were just getting into the stroll of everything, getting into the rhythm, and then it's completely hit with this, really, which kind of sucks.
So what are some of the bands you played with back then, and maybe give some of the shout outs and
so
what's the scene in London?
Well, it's quite a big DIY scene and whatnot in London. So we've played with a great punk band called We Punch Tigers. So if you they're just brilliant old school punk. Do you know what I mean? Got that kind of jokiness to them and whatnot. We love playing live with them. They're brilliant. And there's also like loads of other bands like the Freudian Sessions. Really good to kind of mix that kind of rock and metal as well, a bit like us, which is good. Sawteeth. We've played quite a few gigs with Sawteeth. Again, brilliant bunch of lads. Playing sort of like the hardcore punk and that. The lead singer from Sawteeth as well, recorded and produced off first EP as well, which was really cool. Weaponry, there's another band as well, BKS. So we've played with sort of like all these kind of bands that are sort of like upmerging like in the scene at the moment, which is like really good. I think we haven't really played with anyone I'd say like mainstream or anything like that. We've kind of like been sort of on that underground sort of punk scene and whatnot, which has been pretty good. Yeah. So we kind of like hover between like sometimes we do like a punk show, sometimes we do a metal show. Just all depends really, and sort of one of those because some of our songs are punk, some of our songs are metal. All depends what the promoters listen to. Depends what we throw us into.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean more than anything else. We've been on some like metal shows where it's like first band's gone on, some death metal and stuff like that, and then we've been punk, and then the rest of the bands have been really heavy. Then we've been on other stuff where we've been the heaviest band. So the community and stuff, you know what I mean? It's like really good. It's like really good stuff, really.
Anything out of the country, or how does it work over there for like going to like Europe, the rest of Europe or whatever?
I don't know. We've never really looked into it, to be honest. Yeah, we've only. The thing is that as this band, we've only done about 11 or 12 shows. So we haven't got like a massive category. I think we sort of like we drive around the country and whatnot, but that's about it. One of the probably the furthest gigs that we've done is like Bristol, which is about like 2 hours away, and stuff like that. We supported this this band on their European tour called Free Sergio, a really good punk rock band, which I think they're from Israel. I think, brilliant punk band, definitely worth checking out. We supported him on their show in Bristol. So we tried to get him a London show, but it didn't work out. So they asked us to support him in Bristol. So we did. We had like a brilliant time there as well. But it's just about jumping in the car, driving up somewhere, doing your thing. Really, that's just pretty much as far as it goes.
Yeah, it's just weird that it's so different that one thing I kind of related to is I saw a post from, I can't remember who it was, but they were like, it was something like someplace, I think it was something about England, but they drive like 40 minutes and they call a biscuit 5 different things like on the way, They kind of call it different terminologies, and it's like a different culture for like 40 minutes or an hour away. So it just seems weird that America's so big, and just like it's just a different scene where you guys are like more.
Yeah, it's just right there.
Closer, and everything's right there,
Yeah. No, it is like travel wise and stuff. To be fair, sometimes it takes us long enough to get into London. That's probably like the hardest ones.
Yeah.
We played like one show in London, and it took us like an hour and a half to get there because the traffic was just mental. But definitely, I can imagine over in America. You know what I mean? You could be driving hours, play certain shows and stuff like that. Where else, it's just like, there's pretty decent sort of scene knocking around sort of London and just outside. So we haven't really ventured out so far just yet. Anyway.
Yeah, and Society, Society got mad that a band I was in. We played from like San Diego to San Francisco. We never really made it out of California, but it's still played San Francisco a few times. That's a good 4 to 5 hours away.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty trippy. But yeah, like over here, it's like people go to work. It takes them 2 hours to get to work.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, that's it.
It's like so many people is like crazy. All right, you're up. What's your next?
So just I was going to say, describe your music in 3 words.
I got fast, angry, and energetic.
Yeah. Nice. It's always funny, like just like hearing what people sort of how to describe their band and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's why I thought I'd throw that one in there more than anything else.
Yeah, I like my favorite thing is to say as much as you can in the least amount of time. It's just like I like my most favorite music to kind of write is just like to the point and like bam, it's right in your face and here it is, like hit you with it right away.
Yeah, that's it, man. Because for ages we were going around with the slogan, screamy, shouty, and rough around the edges, and then all of a sudden, like it was that kind of thing. A lot of people going, "Oh, you're kind of hardcore, you're kind of punk, you're kind of this."
Right.
So we did that. So we go with the 3 words: hardcore, injected punk.
Right.
So it just sort of like sums us up like perfectly, more.
Right.
It's always surprising. Like how would you describe us like in 3 words? Like what would you say about My Latest Failure?
Well, yeah, I'm pretty much the same. Fast, energetic, and not quite as angry. Fast, energetic, and a tinge of metal. I see definitely some metal in there.
Yeah, so we were on that Reverb Nation, and someone described us as aggression overload, which I thought was pretty cool as well.
Right.
Just the way that people just throw stuff at you as well. It's just brilliant.
Yeah. So how's it for you guys, social media wise? Is it mainly you doing everything, or did you all like take part, or?
No, it's pretty much it's pretty much me really. The other guys are on there, but then you really sort of like share the stuff and or anything like that. But the majority of the time it's me, like that's doing the social media and that. Obviously Twitter, I'm on there on my own account because I thought I couldn't be bothered doing 2 accounts. I thought I'd just stick to that one this time around.
Right.
Because in Instagram I'm like toggling between the 2, my personal one and the band one, and then we've got like a band Facebook. But yeah, I have the tendency of just sort of just throwing the stuff on there, just basically telling people we're still here.
Yeah.
Look, we're here.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of thing. But no, the other guys, like for example, our bassist, he drew up a website for us. He's like the technical guy. Do you know what I mean? If you need any of that kind of stuff, he's your man for. And like I said, our drummer, he shares everything around. He's always like putting our name out there. If we're out and about, he's like, "Oh yeah, we're in this punk band." Do you know what I mean? So we all kind of do our own little little bits and bobs. But generally, I'm the social man, so to speak.
Yeah, because I was used to doing everything. So in the other band, they kind of didn't do much. So and then now I got to do more. I'm just doing everything, but it's definitely a challenge trying to do everything yourself. You can't be promoting while you're writing and recording. So it's just like you got to do this one, then you got to do that one. You do this one, do that one. So take care.
Yeah. And I think it's tough, but I think it's beneficial though, man. I think
Yeah.
social media definitely is where it gets you, because like, I think the band the first time we went on social media was, I think it was like July 2019, and then literally a month later we had someone, Jamie came along, was like, oh, here, looking for a drummer. That's all because of social media. You know, so we tried when we were looking for him, we were trying all these websites like Join My Band and stuff like that. Weren't getting nothing. The second we jumped onto social media, boom, it was there. You know, and that's where we get most of our interest more than anything else. Like for example, like, you know, I wouldn't have known you if it weren't for social media, and stuff like that. You know, I think it's a good source, man. It's where I find all my music these days, to be honest.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, and back in the day, we had fanzines, and you found out about people that way through it too. But this might be a little more personal than, you know, read about somebody in a fanzine and stuff. But this is just a different time. Yeah, I should try that, because about a year and a half ago, I tried to get some people together, like, hey, maybe play my stuff out once in a while, and nothing really came of it. But I might put that out there on Twitter.
Yeah.
So that's good. Anybody in LA? Anybody in LA? Get back into
You'd be surprised what pings up. You'd be
surprised. Definitely. And it's weird I don't know whether it's the time that you do it or what. Some people say your tweets only really last for like 7 or 15 minutes or something, and then it's just like, because everybody's already
they get lost in the sea.
And it's just like everybody's, and like some people never see it, but you know, sometimes the tweet you don't think is gonna go have a bunch of reactions, and then something you say something and you're like, I got nothing.
Yeah, well, I get that.
It's like, is it just a bad time? Nobody was there to read it, or is it like, okay?
Yeah, 100%. I find that I get like more interaction if I start tweeting something like 6-7 o'clock at night. But I suppose that's sort of morning for you guys. So I don't know if it's that sort of like getting up. You guys are checking the social media. I don't know. It's really strange.
Yeah,
I could never quite work out what times are best.
But for me, I think a bulk, I wouldn't say half, or a lot of my the people that interact with me, I think, are in Europe. So most of my traction comes in the morning because it's after work over there. So pretty much before 9 and after 3 here, I don't get much. So it's just like basically 3 in the morning to 9 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon is kind of where I found.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. I've always find sort of like, for me, evening time seems to be the best. So I usually, like, a lot of the time, well, I'm usually at work, so I don't usually go on it anyway. But yeah, evening is when I'll get the best interaction. But yeah, that's good.
Right.
I mean, it's the way where the world's going now.
So, how do you guys write your music? Is it like the guy says, like, you say, hey, I wrote this song, and then the other guys kind of play it, or do you come up with a riff and they go, oh, I got another riff for that? Is it more of a collaboration, or?
It's a bit. Some songs are, some ain't. Sometimes I just walk in there and I just go to the guys, right, I've got this song, I've got the guitar in for it, and it's done. And then other times, like, our bassist will come up with, like, he'll pick up a guitar and come up with a riff and some chords, send it over to me, and I've said, I've got this. And then I'll start putting lyrics and that over it. And then we sort of just pass it between each other. And then what generally happens is, once me and the bassist has something, we'll go in and then we'll go to the drummer, right, we've got this. And then he'll just start doing his magic. Then it just comes together. But we've never really had sessions where we just sit down and we all try and do it together. It's all kind of like started by like one of us. So one of us like gets that started at home and then pass it to the other one, and then we'll just kind of piece it together like that. But generally it's sort of like, I'd have lyrics, I'd have a kind of a basic guitar go in, and then we just work from there.
Right.
That's how we sort of generally do it. You'll find usually our most like complicated intros and that are usually all done by a bassist.
Mm-hmm.
You usually find I'll come in and be like, this is this, dun dun dun. He'll come in and be like, I want you to play dun 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 dun, and I'll be like, oh, really? Can't we keep it basic? So you'll know, you'll get to know sort of what songs I've kind of had a bigger influence than what the bassist does. But you know what I mean? They all turn out good in the end, so can't really complain.
Yeah, yeah. All right, your next question.
So so what's your favourite My Latest Failure song and why?
I think it's Story of the Year. I think the lyrics are good, and it's a nice. I like the intro. The intro's really cool. It's probably by your bassist, huh? It's kind of tricky. It's got a tricky intro.
Yeah, no, it's a good song. It's the kind of song that I can sort of, well, if you listen to the lyrics, you kind of relate it to this year as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So obviously, I wrote it about 2016,
Mm-hmm.
but me and the guys have joked about changing it and re-recording it for 2020. But
Yeah.
kind of thing, if we do, we do. If we don't, it's always
Right.
going to be there, kind of thing. But yeah, that was like one of our first songs really that we ever kind of pieced together.
Oh, that's cool.
It was quite funny because I come across the one of the original demos for that, and it just
Mhm.
sounds like completely different. We kind of
Right.
like had a lot of work had a lot of work over the last year or so.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But it's always interesting sort of hearing like, everyone all has a favorite song, don't they, and stuff like that.
Right.
And stuff like that. Like for you, like your song, I love that bacon sign. That's brilliant. It's just brilliant. You know what I mean? And Who Are You as well. Love that song.
Cool.
And stuff like that, man. So I just like 12 years. That's the other one. I'm trying to think of it. Really like 12 years as well. It's just funny, like when you speak to people who their favourite songs are, I mean, some like this, some like that. It's
Right.
never like sort of one the same either, which is always good.
Yeah. That's definitely good. Definitely. Make it a little lighter. So what's like TV like over there? What kind of is there a lot of British shows? Do you like make mainly get British or American stuff, or
Do you know what? Netflix.
you just Netflix?
That's what I catch. Netflix.
Yeah,
mate.
Netflix.
That's literally what I live off. So I very rarely watch like normal TV. If I watch just like the standard TV, just only get annoyed by the news or something.
Mhm.
So yeah, Netflix, Breaking Bad, Dexter, Game of Thrones, all that kind of stuff, man. Love it.
Mm.
Love a big like blockbuster, kind of over the top kind of thing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and I also love like I got a little like I just love these like cartoon things. These sort of like Simpsons, Rick and
Right.
Morty, all
Mhm.
that kind of stuff as well. Man, I love all that kind of sort of adult animation, so to speak.
Mhm. Right.
Not so
Right.
much Simpsons now. You know what I mean? They get shown on just like
Right.
6 o'clock. I love all that kind of stuff, really.
Yeah, in the late '80s, I don't know if you saw. We used to watch the show called The Young Ones.
Oh yeah, the young
Remember
ones. Yeah,
some of the
yeah,
Young Ones? And Benny Hill. That's what we loved over here.
yeah.
Good to get some British humor. And my wife listens. She likes to watch a lot of those from PBS reruns some of the old shows over there, and from the BBC we get the BBC network on cable. She likes watching
Oh yeah.
some of those shows. God, I can't even think of any of them shows now. They're kind of like detective kind of shows, kind of low key, kind of.
Oh yeah, there's a couple knocking around. I know like Luther's really good. Don't know if you guys got that over there as well. Obviously, there's always the classics like Only Fools and Horses. Don't know if you've ever seen that.
Mm-mm.
Red Dwarf's one of my favourites
Mm.
as well. Kind of comedy in space. Do you know what I mean? Two perfect mixes there as well. But yeah, the BBC they do churn out some really good stuff. But it's just that kind of thing. Like you can just stream everything now, can't you? Just go on Netflix. It's just there as a thing. So you don't have to sort of go, oh, I've got to get home and watch this. Not anymore.
Right.
Those days are gone.
Right.
What about you? What shows are big there then? What shows are big? What's worth watching?
I really don't watch that much. What do I watch? Right now, one of the other channels has a show. I mean, at work, at break time, I watch TV, and I catch the end of the show. So I started catching up on this one show called Crossing Jordan from the 90s. I don't know. I'm just been catching up. And then there's a few shows I catch, and I'm like, oh, well. But now it's cool that some of the other channels play them, and you can catch up. They'll play the whole season, the whole thing, and we'll just record them and just watch the whole. Sort of like Netflix, but just record it on your DVR.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What else do we watch? Shows like there was a show called The Good Doctor and The Residents, kind of doctor shows and stuff like that. It's kind of what we're been into.
Yeah. Not Game of Thrones. Not Game of Thrones, man.
No, I'm not really a Game of Thrones guy. Never really never got into Mad Men or what's the zombie one that everybody likes?
Oh, The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead. Never got into that.
Yeah. Started watching that. Got to a certain point. It's one of them. They just go on for too long.
Yeah.
You know that. Just end after like 5 seasons. I'll be perfectly happy. Once you go past there, it's like
right.
Becomes a chore after a while, doesn't it?
Yeah, there were some shows for like that. There was The Flash. They had a show, about The Flash.
Yeah.
There. And it was good for a couple seasons until it's just like, I think they ruined it because everybody started getting their own powers. He was the Flash, and then this person has this other power. This person has this power. And I'm like, okay, everybody's got a power now. So I'm like, well, this kind of defeats the purpose. It's just like the Flash is supposed to be the guy, and then that's it. It's just like
that's it. And then all of a sudden, everyone's got it.
It's like, if everybody's got a power, then nobody's really special. So what's the purpose of watching it?
Yeah, 100%. I actually watched something similar like
Arrow,
yeah. Same thing with that. Same, so whatever you just said about the Flash is exactly what happened in Arrow.
Yeah, it's on the same. It was on the same channel here. Probably right after it. It was just like, I've seen a couple of those episodes. Yeah, they had a couple Arrow Flash crossover episodes.
Yeah, I think I watched one of them, and then I was just like, oh, that's too much for me now. So that's enough. Next. Oh dear.
All right.
So let's talk about bacon then.
Let's talk about bacon. There you go, bacon.
There we go. Yes, everyone loves a bit of bacon. So how do you like your bacon then?
I just made some this morning. Bacon is good. I like it nice and crispy. Just a couple of the bits get a little bit burned. You get that nice crunchy flavor. Good.
Yeah. What's that, like streaky bacon? Is that streaky? Streaky bacon or?
Maybe by streaky bacon.
See, we have different types. That's probably why. Yeah, we've got like the streaky bacon, which is kind of like you've got the fat running down, running down it. You've got the bacon back as well, I think it's called. Is that like a big medallion bit with that's the most common one, I think, over here. Is the bacon back, I think they call it. So we just I usually fry it off. Like I said, let it burn around so the fat gets all crispy and stuff. Definitely. Yeah,
we just get the thin strips.
Yeah, you gotta love bacon. Do you have it in sandwich? It sounds crispy actually.
Yeah. Bacon, lettuce, tomato. This morning I had it with some eggs. But I just thought of when I was making it. I'm like, I'm gonna make a video, and then tack on my bacon time at the end. Get some tips for cooking bacon. Maybe somebody will like it. And I've been trying to get somebody to. I tweeted a couple of bacon places my song, and like Smithfield or something, the bacon manufacturer. Like maybe they'll come across it and want to use it in their advertisements. So I can make lots of money, man.
That would be brilliant.
I'm like, come on, people! I got a bacon song here.
To be fair, the songs in my head when I'm cooking bacon. I did a bacon and egg sandwich this morning, and like as soon as you start cooking the bacon, it's there. Oh.
Yeah. The I just came across a tip that a few years ago, I think it was in your news feed or something. You're cooking bacon the wrong way. I'm like, okay, yeah, let me check this out. But it seemed to work that we get the thin strip bacon, and most of the time it's like splattering all over the place. So what their tip was to just cover the bottom of the pan just lightly with water, and it kind of boils it first.
Okay.
And then once the water gets off, and it kind of dissipates the fat and it doesn't splatter all over the place, because it used to be the stove was just full of just grease.
Yeah, it does go everywhere, doesn't it?
But ever since this, it's been at least down to like 10 to 15% of what it was. I mean, there's a little splatter. So that's the way I've been cooking it. Then you cook it on medium for a while, and you cook it a little bit slow. And it takes practice, because each pan's different. You get a new pan, and you're like,
oh, that's the worst.
Gotta learn how to cook the bacon a different way. And you're like, I need to go high, I need to go low. But because I cook it in 2 different pans, and you're like, one pan you got to cook it on 3, and the other one you got to cook it on 5, and you're like trying to match them, go back and forth, turning it back and forth.
It's funny how everyone does it, because usually I just hit my pan on, slap it on high. Once the pan, you get that feel, that it's hot. I just set the bacon on, and away you go, boom. Like a couple of minutes, it's done. Done, dusted and crispy. It's funny how so many people have different techniques for it.
I know.
It's unbelievable.
Right. And everybody's is right.
Oh yeah, of course. Right.
It's just like, my way's the way to go.
That's it. As long as it tastes nice, that's all that matters, right? But I'm a sucker for watching those things. That whenever I'm on Facebook, when you're scrolling down, anything to do with food, it's just like you just end up watching it. Do you know that? I'm telling you, it's like the same with cheese as well. Whenever I see anything pop up with cheese, I just got to watch it.
All right, so what's the cuisine in England? You get, I know in America it's like everything. We get like Chinese, Italian, Mexican, and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same here, really. If you're going for a takeout, 100%. Like at home, it's more like potatoes, rice, chicken, that kind of stuff. Sorry, mate, just knocking off somebody there. Yeah, it's that kind of stuff, really. So if I'm at home, then it'll be mainly chicken. But yeah, we have all kinds of takeout, Sam, Chinese, Indian. Do you get much Indian food?
Yeah, we got Indian
over there.
That's
quite popular. A lot of chicken places as well, like fried chicken and stuff. McDonald's, of course. Everyone has that, don't they?
Right, McDonald's everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, literally, you can only walk like a mile before there's another McDonald's. Like everywhere. But yeah, if I said like I had favourites, like I love Mexican food. I think it's got to be like Mexican food, and also I love stuff like chicken wings, like chicken wings, mac and cheese, burgers, that kind of stuff. Love it.
Definitely.
What about you? Do you have sort of favourite cuisine or?
No, I like everything, most of everything. No, I'm not everything, but it's one day it's Mexican, next day it's Italian, next day it's Polish, next day it's German, next day it's pizza.
That's it.
Just everything. everything.
Yeah, it's so much out there now, isn't it? It's unbelievable.
Filipino, Chinese, it's like everything.
Yeah. I can imagine there's a bit more of a selection where you are. 100%. Never had Filipino food ever.
Right.
Which would be, I can imagine if it was here, 100%. I'm all about trying new food.
Right.
100%.
It's a lot like Chinese. It's a little different, but it's a lot like Chinese.
Get a lot of pub grub, like pies, chips.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of fish and chips as well, 100%. But it's the same stuff, really. Same stuff over and over. Like I said, a lot of KFC and McDonald's.
Yeah.
They're probably like they're everywhere. Those sort of places.
Kind
of thing. Because like literally, I live like just off our like sort of a high street, and like it's just full of them. And kebabs, doner kebabs, and all that kind of stuff as well. Yeah. Sort of stuff you get after a few drinks on the way home.
Yeah, because all this stuff. After I talked a few weeks ago to Agency Panic, we were talking about different stuff. And I'm like, I just wondered about. They said, you should come out to Ireland, and I'm like, oh, I never even thought of it. And now I'm like, that might be kind of cool to go to Ireland. I guess if you don't know anybody, you're like, oh, why would I go to Ireland? But now you meet a Twitter friend, and you're like, hey, that'd be cool to go to Ireland and learn different things. And I'm like, well, shoot, what do they have there? So I think, well, same thing with England. I'm like, what do they have there? It's like, what about like fruits and vegetables and stuff? Like we get like all kinds. Like, is it just get everything's imported? Like, I guess it might be a different world because now it's like everything's grown everywhere and it's just shipped everywhere.
Yeah, I think the main ones is like apples, bananas, strawberries.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Oranges seem to be a fan favourite in my household.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Nothing really. You know what I mean? You get the odd sort of grapes as well as another big one as well.
Yeah.
But it's that kind of stuff really. Raspberries. It's that kind of.
Is it like? Do they grow them in England or is it all imported?
I think a lot of it's imported, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really checked. Just one of them, just go to the supermarket, throw it all in.
Yeah.
I can imagine like stuff like bananas or that are probably imported in.
Right.
Probably like strawberries, raspberries, and that are probably localish kind of thing. But it's all supermarkets now, man. Don't really get.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like you go there, it's just whatever they've got. So it's kind of the standard stuff. Nothing too fruity. standard fruit and veg. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, America's got so many farms all over the place. So big. My dad's family had a farm from him. He used to go to his uncles and stuff and just farm and big cornfields and beans and all that stuff. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I was just curious about other countries and what they grow in England. I don't even know.
Yeah, they can throw like carrots as well, like carrots and green beans and stuff like that. We do corn now. I did sort of like vegetable picking not long ago actually. Like, I think it was only last week with my daughter. And like, yeah, it's just that kind of stuff really. I think we got some like carrots, corn, green beans, onions, that kind of stuff really. Nothing too exotic. Well, not to us anyway.
That's cool, mate. All right. What's your next one?
What's next for you then?
Just more stuff. More bacon.
More bacon, eh?
Yeah, got my friend Pharmacide. We're doing a collaboration. He sent me the drums, and I'm working on the guitars. I got one guitar and the bass down. I'm gonna work on the other guitars today probably, and hopefully tweak it up and do the vocals. I got a couple ideas for some collaborations I'm working on.
Nice.
And just writing more music. whenever I get a chance, or whenever I can not be tired. A lot of times I just come home from work and it's just like I'm freaking beat and sit there and watch a little TV to relax. I'm like, oh, I'll just relax for a little bit, and then I'll get up. But I end up relaxing and it's waking up at 11 o'clock at night. Well, time to go to bed. Like, what? Like, what the hell happened? I just laid down for a second, and it's like 3 hours later. And then you go to bed, and then you're like, damn, I can't go to sleep. Well, I just kept 3 hours on the couch. Can't get much work done there, but other than that, working on the yard and the house and the cars and just try to keep at it.
Keeping out, eh? Keeping out of trouble.
Always got stuff in my head and on paper, and whenever I pick up a guitar, get riffs down, I just have to match them up. That's always what's up.
That's good, man. I suppose, yeah, it's good if you like collaborate with people as well, isn't it? How does that work? You get people to send stuff to you, and
yeah,
you got an idea, and then just send it to them, and they go, "Are you interested in this?"
Yeah. I had an idea for doing something with Vince, and then I kind of had this metalish thing because he's more into little more metal or thing. So I had most of it pretty much down, and I just sent it to him, and he did the drums. He sent me, is this good? Is that good? Do you like this? You know, he was gonna try things. I'm like, oh yeah, that's good. And then he finally sent me the final tracks, and then just working with it.
Nice.
And then another one where I'm trying out with John Warwick. I sent him just some like a verse and a chorus music and some half lyrics. I'm kind of experimenting. Then it's just, I'm like, send me something that you think would go after it, and he added some lyrics to it, and I thought were really cool. And he's releasing some stuff, so he's kind of working on it too. So I'm still waiting for stuff. Just experimenting to see how it's going to come out.
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
So we'll see what happens.
It could be a collaboration album.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. There's like a couple other people I was thinking doing like an EP, just a complete collaboration EP. So we'll see how that works out.
Nice. Something nice, good to look forward to then, eh?
Yeah. All right, mate. This is fun. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Talking to somebody in London, I freaking can't believe it. Like, it's amazing. It's just like pretty wild. Never in my wildest dreams. Talked to somebody in Ireland a couple weeks ago, and a couple in London this week. And talking to, I think, Wild Horse next week. So it's pretty wild.
Nice. No, it's been good, man. Been good. Glad you invited me to this. Brilliant.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, well, my wife was asking me, and she goes, what's everybody like about it? And I'm like, I don't know. It seems like I just had this idea and said, oh, let's try this thing. But it seems like a lot of the bands and everything likes the idea. So, well, what do you like about it?
No, I just like that, that the fact you just sort of getting the conversation going. Do you know what I mean? I've learned stuff about you. You've learned stuff about me. And, at the same time. I've been on Twitter for like 11 years or so. So I've been sort of talking to you in the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. But like when you're on Twitter, it's about the music, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Right. It's and stuff like that. Well, it's just a bit more getting to know you a bit more, which is good.
I appreciate it. I love it. It's fun. I like getting to just like all these faceless people kind of on Twitter. It's like, oh, this guy's texting me or twittering me and retweeting and supporting my stuff. I'm like, well, it's really fun to meet everybody.
Yeah, no, 100%.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, that's all right, mate. Well, enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, you too.